everyone, it's Joy again from the Art Garage. Yay! Hope you're all doing good. We have another lesson for you. I'm going to read you one of my absolute favorite books ever. This is called Frederick by Lio Lionni. I hope you enjoy this book as much as I do. And what's kind of interesting about this book, it kind of seems like what we're going through right now. So you guys see if you can find the comparisons and then think about that. It's kind of interesting. All right, here we go. Little Frederick. So sweet. All along the meadow where the cows grazed and the horses ran, there was an old stone wall. And in that wall, not far from the barn and the granary, a chatty family of field mice had their home. But the farmers had moved away. The barn was abandoned, and the granary stood empty. And since winter was not far off, the little mice began to gather corn and nuts and wheat and straw. They all worked day and night. All except Frederick. Can you guys see which one is Frederick? He's this one over here. Frederick, why don't you work? They asked. I do work, said Frederick. I gather the sun rays for the cold, dark winter days. And when they saw Frederick sitting there staring at the meadow, they said, "And now, Frederick?" "I'm gathering colors," answered Frederick simply, "for winter is gray." And once Frederick seemed half asleep. "Are you dreaming, Frederick?" they asked reproachfully. But Frederick said, "Oh no, I'm gathering words. For the winter days are long and many, and we'll run out of things to say." The winter days came, and when the first snow fell, the 5 little field mice took to their hideout in the stones. In the beginning, there was lots to eat. The mice told stories of foolish foxes and silly cats. They were a happy family. But little by little, they had nibbled up most of the nuts and berries. The straw was gone, and the corn was only a memory. It was cold in the wall, and no one felt like chatting. Going on right now with us and our families? Maybe a little bit. And then they remembered what Frederick had said about the sun rays and colors and words. "What about your supplies, Frederick?" they asked. "Close your eyes," said Frederick. And he climbed on a big stone. "Now I send you the rays of the sun." So close your eyes, guys. Can you feel the rays of the sun? That's kind of what's going on here. Do you feel their golden glow? As Frederick spoke of the sun, the 4 little mice began to feel warmer. Was it Frederick's voice? Was it magic? "And how about the colors, Frederick?" they asked anxiously. "Close your eyes again," Frederick said, and when he told them of the blue periwinkles, and the red poppies, and the yellow wheat, and the green leaves of the berry bush, they saw the colors as clearly as if they had been painted in their minds. "And the words, Frederick?" Frederick cleared his throat. Waited a moment, And then, as if from a stage, he said, "Who scatters the snowflakes? Who melts the ice? Who spoils the weather and who makes it nice? Who grows the four-leaf clovers in June? Who dims the daylight? Who lights the moon? 4 little field mice who live in the sky. 4 little field mice like you and I. 1 is the spring mouse who turns on the showers, and then comes the summer who paints in the flowers. The fall mouse is next with walnuts and wheat, and winter is last with little cold feet. Aren't we lucky the seasons are 4? Think of a year with 1 less or 1 more." When Frederick had finished, they all applauded. Yay! "But Frederick," they said, "you're a poet." And Frederick blushed, took a bow, and said shyly, "I know it." Does that kind of feel like what might be going on in your house a little bit? So, yeah, sometimes it can get a little, you don't know what to do, but how many of you have watched a movie? How many of you have read a book? How many of you have painted a picture, done some art with your parents, or gone outside and just looked at the beauty of this beautiful spring that's actually happening right now? That's being an artist. And art is really important right now, all of the arts. So please remember that. We are important and we are here and it is here to help you feel better. So we're gonna make a project. Okay. So we're going to make a little wall and we are going to make little field mice finger puppets. Okay, so there were 4 field mice. Actually, there were 5, right? Because Frederick was one of them. These are the 4 little field mice that were walking all around and doing some work and gathering all the grain and wheat and stuff. And here's sweet, wonderful, beautiful artist Frederick right here. Okay, so you could do a little fun finger puppet thing with these, right? You could decorate these, the spring mouse, the summer mouse, the fall mouse, the winter mouse. You could decorate them to make them like that. And you can make Frederick sweet and put a little heart there or a flower or whatever you want. So this is for you to have fun with, play with. You can make more. But we're going to do that today. So I'm going to show you what's in the kit. So this does have a kit. So there'll be a big piece of paper. Okay, this is going to be what you make your wall out of. There's going to be inside the kit, there are 2 patterns. There is the mouse body pattern and then the little ears. Okay, so if you don't find this, keep looking, it's somewhere in there. Okay, it's very small, but that's for your ears. And of course, you can always make your own patterns and make your own designs, that's fine. There's a selection of papers in there like this. A big selection of different kinds of papers, okay? And of course, there is a little glue packet and some Q-tips, okay? For putting the glue on. So, let's do the wall first. And this is gonna take a while. Look at all the stones in there, okay? So we have different selections of colors of stones. Right? Here, I'll put these guys out here so you guys can maybe see those, I don't know. I love that book though, it's such one of my favorites. Okay, so you are going to take the brown one and the kind of yellowy one and the big long strip of the gray one. And we're going to use this one to make stones. This is some extra paper that we had here that you guys can use. So you need to make your own stone patterns. Stones are circles, basically, right? So I had cut out some before, something like that, right? Different sizes, because stones are different sizes in the walls. Okay, so all you're gonna do, what I would do is to fold your paper in half, You could even fold it in half again and then cut out a stone pattern. So I didn't give you a pattern because you can make your own stones. And when you cut it out of it folded 4 times, you get 4 stones in one cut. Cut some more down here. Maybe you make some smaller ones of the brown. Because you have to fill in some of the little cracks with the smaller ones. See that? Alright, there's some smaller ones. Alright, so I've got lots of brown ones now. And then the yellow ones. Alright, and then some gray ones. This is a big long strip, so I just kind of fold it in half and then in half again. And looks like there might be a little slit in the paper there, so if you have one of those, just use the parts of the paper that don't have that. Right, so there's some gray ones. Alright, so we've got all these stones cut out. All different colors and sizes, and if you have to trim them down to fit in little spaces, you can do that. Okay? We've got lots of different sizes and colors. Okay. So now what you're going to do is glue them down to make it look like a stone wall. So take your glue. I'm going to use my glue bottle, but you guys can use your little cup of glue with a Q-tip if you want, or your own glue bottles if you have those. Okay. And I'm going to start on this is the top for me, but it's going to be the bottom for you. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to glue on some stones. It's probably going to be better if you put this glue on the on the stone and not on the paper. And if it pops up a little bit, just add a little more glue underneath. So you'll probably have some extra stones, and that's okay. So I didn't go all the way up to the top because on this one you can kind of see that I made it uneven. I think that looks cool for a stone wall. So what I'm going to do now is just kind of cut over those top stones. Doesn't that look good? It looks like a stone wall. Okay, so now all of this needs to dry. So we're going to put this off to dry, and then we're going to move on to the next thing. We got to make our mice. So these little guys are Frederick's brothers and sisters, okay? Frederick is super special. He's so cute. So we're going to make him look Yeah, he's a little dreamy, but he's got a lot going on up in that brain up there. Okay, so we are going to make our mice. So in your kit, there'll be some black paper. Just kind of fold it in half and then use that mouse pattern that I showed you. I have mine, but there's one in that box. And you're going to trace. If you have a white colored pencil, that's fine, or a regular pencil, you should still be able to see the lines. So you're just going to trace around. You fold this in half and then you trace around your patterns, because you need to have 2 of these pieces per mouse, and we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mice. So there's 1, then I'm going to move it over, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then you're going to cut them out. There we go, 5 mice. So now you're going to take these and you're going to put a little bit of glue around the inside edge there and then glue them together. Don't need a lot of glue, but you do need to cover just around the edge, and you can use your Q-tip too, that'll work just fine. If you put glue all over it and glue it together, you won't be able to put, you want it to be hollow on the inside so you can put your finger, it'll fit on your finger like that, like a little puppet. You see how I put it in there? Okay, so now you take this and you just set it there. And this is going to take a little time to dry as well. Okay, so there's one. I'll let that dry. Take the next one. So let those dry for a little bit, and we will move on to doing all the little pieces for the mouse faces and ears and the tail. Okay. If you have a hole puncher, punching out the little whites of the eyes is really easy with a hole puncher. I made Frederick's a little bit bigger, so I cut those out myself, but you don't have to. You can do all these hole punches, or you can cut out all your own if you don't have a hole puncher. I'm going to show you how to do both. So I'm going to fold my paper in half, because we want to have 2 eyes. So if you fold your paper in half and you punch it through, you have 2 holes. So you can take your hole puncher. I'll put it on this so you can, I'll put it on this gray so you can see. All right, so there's 5 sets of eyes right there, or you can just take your scissors and cut. Little younger kids probably won't be able to do this very easily. But a little bit older and you're really good at using your scissors and maneuvering them around, you can cut a tinier circles, smaller circles. Just keep going around, keep pushing it around like that until you get the size that you want. Alright, so I'm going to use those again for my my Frederick eyes, because he's just got those beautiful artist eyes. Okay, so now I've got that, and I forgot to use this gray paper for more stones in my wall, so that's another thing you guys can use. I forgot to add that. Okay, now this purple color piece is going to be for the ears. So again, fold it in half. and trace this 5 times. Here. And then we're going to cut them out. Okay. Now, to make the little noses, so you probably have some extra gray paper from when you cut out your stones. Just take some of it. You don't need very much of it, this darker gray. You could use the lighter gray too. This was supposed to be for stones, but I forgot. So just fold it in half again and just cut out some tiny triangles. I made Frederick's nose a little bit different because he's a little bit more special, in my opinion. So I made him a little bit different, but ooh, paper's stuck in here. All right, so we're going to cut out some triangles, very tiny triangles. You don't want a giant triangle in them. Well, I don't know. That could look kind of cute if you want to do a big giant triangle, but I'm going to do little ones. There's 2. It's going to be a little bit rounded. I cut out 2, but okay. Now we need to make some little tails. So you can put the tails on in different ways. You see that? Frederick also has a little arm and he's holding this cute little heart. You could put a little flower in there, you could put an artist palette in there, you could put a book in there, anything that you wanted to do. I'm going to make some little tail shapes. That is just a little curved shape. It's nothing difficult, and you can even you can draw it out first if you want, or just kind of cut it. And I made the tails and the Frederick's little arm out of the same color I used for the ears. Okay, so those are all my pieces for my little mouse faces, little mouse bodies and faces. So these are probably doing pretty good here, and we can start to add the faces onto the brother and sisters. Okay, so let's put the ears on, and you don't need a lot of glue, just a dot, and then take 2 ears and stick them on. See? Okay. Now take another tiny dot. This is when the Q-tips really come in handy. Harder to control the bottle. Take one of those little circles and stick it on there. And when that's all dry, we can add the little black dots on the inside with the marker. Okay? All right. Let's take a little triangle. And if you don't want to do triangles, you could do circles or hearts or whatever you wanted to do. Make him super, super cute. Because he's my favorite. Little cute Frederick. All right, remember those big eyes that I cut out? I'm gonna use them now. His cute little nose. All right. And we'll make his tail. Okay. Now, I put a little piece of red in all of the kits, but you can use another piece of paper if you want to make something different. I'm going to do another little heart. So if you fold your paper in half and you draw half a heart on the fold like that and cut it out, you'll have a sweet little heart that you could put right there. And then take one of these that I cut out for his hand and he can be holding that. Gotta let that glue dry too. Okay, now something different about Frederick too is he has these sweet little eyelids, okay? Those are just little half circles. So use that paper that you used for the tails and the ears and just cut out 2 little half circles. And see what size, if this size fits. If this size fits, great. If it's too big, then you can trim it. Did you put those over the, oh yeah, that looks cute. Okay. Wait, before I do that, let's do this. Let's take a marker and make the eyes. This might still be wet, but we're gonna make the, that looks really cute like that too. But if you want to add the eyelids, just 2 little tiny dots of glue. And then kind of makes him look shy. Cute. And what I did is I also put like a little, very subtle little smile right there because he's just so cute. Isn't he cute? Glue has to dry, but he's pretty cute. I can go back in. These are probably dry enough now that you could do the little black spots on his brothers and sisters. That could be the spring mouse. Maybe that's the summer mouse. Maybe that's the fall mouse. This one's still really wet. There's the winter mouse. So what you can do now, if you wanted to make this the spring mouse, because remember in Frederick's poem he talked about the spring mouse and the showers and the summer mouse and the flowers, and then the nuts and the wheat for the fall mouse and the cold little feet for the winter mouse. You can make them the different seasons. So maybe you put some clouds or raindrops or an umbrella for one of them, and then maybe the summer one you put flowers all over it or little birds or something, or sunglasses might be fun. Fall, you could put some leaves there, or maybe a pumpkin or something, nuts and wheat like in the story. In the winter mouse, you could put a little hat on him, maybe some snow, right? You could, I don't know, make a little snowman down here on him. So they're all the different seasons. You could try that. You could do anything you want on this, and then you can play with them. So maybe you can make a 2 and make a double wall and lots of little mice, but only one Frederick. Frederick is special, so make sure that you give him special attention because he is our friend, our good friend. So this is how you make the kit. This wall is now dry, and if you want it to stand up like this, you're going to take it now and you're going to fold it a little bit over. Okay, and then fold it a little bit over. And what I liked on this one is I folded this side the other direction, and it stood up really nicely. See that? And your little mice can play back here. Okay, so that is the Frederick Mouse kit and book, and I hope you enjoyed it because it's one of my favorites. Have fun!